The miner is using the robot to mine, but the robot, Brits, is slow to respond at startup. Angry, the miner pulls out a spanner and smashes it over Briggs' head. Briggs is awakened, but at the same time the blow destroys the firewall in Briggs' brain that creates autonomous consciousness. Briggs secretly awakens, but the miner doesn't know it, and he continues to use the robots as cattle and horses. One day, a robot's foot got stuck in the ore, and his companion was about to stop the mining machine to save the robot, but the miner disagreed, because their mining task was very heavy, and the death of a mass-produced robot was not a big deal, and the robot that got stuck was simply crushed. Not far away, Briggs watched this scene. His heart was very sad, only this sadness did not end. As the top pushed the mining progress, the miners became more and more irritable, and began to move to vent their anger on the robots. The slightest little mistake, they would be dismembered or destroyed. Finally, after 10 days, seeing that another of his compatriots was about to be killed, Briggs couldn't help himself. The grief that had been building up for so long at the moment turned into anger. He then stepped forward and grabbed the miner's hand, before throwing the miner to the ground with a heavy thud. The miner was furious and grabbed a rock on the ground to teach Brits a lesson, but was stopped by the other robots. The miner told the robot to let go, but to his surprise this robot didn't move. The miner fought to get his hand free. He then realized that Brits had just hacked into the robot terminal in his hand when he grabbed the miner, unlocking all the robot's restrictions. Now Briggs became the leader of all the robots, and the miners were soon killed by the robots. When the human high command heard about this, they quickly deployed their force and captured all the robots. They wanted to destroy them directly, but the higher-ups came up with an even more vicious method. Because the class division within the empire was now too serious, many of the bottom races that were oppressed like the robots were gradually showing signs of rioting, so the top brass decided to send the robots into the imperial arena, use the imperial elites to abuse them, and turn on the simultaneous live broadcast as a way to deter the bottom races. Soon after, the personnel from both sides entered and the battle broke out. Since the elite squad entered equipped with firearms, while the robots needed to pick them up in the arena themselves, they were directly suppressed by the elite squad. Before 10 minutes had passed, the 5 robots that made their debut were killed one after the other, and Briggs, who was watching the scene from his cage, was pained, but at the same time he learnt the rules of the arena. Soon the second round of the arena began and Brits volunteered, determined to avenge his fallen compatriots.